And welcome back once again to the Domain Gaming and our short run of They Came From Beyond the Grave. Last time, our investigators began to unravel something of a mystery that seemed to be involved a group called the Infernal Club, one of which had died. And a very, very grisly murder. And they had met the night before and engaged the services of a clairvoyant, a stage smoke and mirrors showwoman by the name of Madame Striga. On going to the theatre where she regularly performed, they found out that all future performances had been cancelled until further notice, and that she herself had been moved to Bethlehem Mental Asylum, or Bedlam as it was colloquially known. And upon visiting her again, they were able to access her particular holding room, and upon going inside, she allowed herself to be possessed by another spirit, another member of the Infernal Club who had since died and had begun to uncover the makings of a ritual to bring back their mother. Now, this had originated in Transylvania and seemingly brought back with the first victim, and who had met an untimely demise. And with that, we shall begin. As in a maze of trailers and various trucks, a modest personal trailer sits, and within, somebody paces up and down, script in hand. Rogue. Recalling the lines for Brandon Stoker is... Could you please...
Yes. His name is Thomas. He's just pacing back and forth. He's just like, sick of doing these productions, man. Like, look at this. Like, this character's so one note. It's, there's no room for gravitas, drama. As he flips through, and he's like, and God, that ending, can't believe it.
As you capture a glimpse of yourself in the mirror, ceiling to floor mirror, and there's that moment of you look at your own reflection, and there's almost the expression on your face almost challenging you as to what are you doing. There is a knock at the door.
Yes?
They're ready for you.
Come in. Oh, okay. I'll come out then. Yeah, just throws... Would I keep the script out there?
Yeah, you can take it with you, yeah.
I'll take it with me.
And stepping out into a short walk where one of the big shutter doors has been opened on one of the sound stages. And stepping inside, you see everybody going about their business as various kind of wires are being trailed to cameras and lights shine down from above onto a scene of a intimate office, despite the lighting more creating these long shadows that are thrown up the walls of somewhere it feels almost close and oppressive. And at this point, Bruno Kildare, director, makes his way over to you. It says, so we mark down a little X for you on the ground. That will be your starting position if you want to take your spot. And when you're ready, we shall begin.
Very well then.
As you move to the spot, the scene in question is Brandon's introduction. A seemingly, for want of a better word, fraudulent medium was committed last night, seemingly suddenly with a genuine power. And with that, and quiet please. Camera turn over. And action. As you stand over the desk, the patient in question's admittance forms out in front of you.
So is my character alone?
At the moment, yes. This is within the walls of Bethlehem Asylum. There's orderlies and a few of the medical staff that remain on hand throughout the day and night. The hour is late, and occasionally you hear that somebody going by in one of the corridors, that footsteps echoing. But in this office, you are indeed alone.
And these are the forms of Madame Striga. Does it have the incident that happened the other day on it?
Looking back through them, she was admitted by one of her associates and part of her stage show, performing as she did as a theatre at a theatre. However, the incident itself happened at a private function, and from speaking with the associate and her, I'm going to say, make me a intellect humanities check.
Alrighty.
You write out some of your own notes, which are okay. So you have 2 dots to use for additional successes on your next check. As you write out in your own notes that patient seems to be suffering with a delusional mania. That's believing herself to be now gifted, so on and so forth.
And you can see as Brandon writes this, like his eyes roll a little bit, and just expositioning to himself apparently, because there's no one else in this room. He's like, it's the 3rd one this month. I find real evidence of the supernatural, or am I doomed to just around looking at these 2-bit mystics? Oh well. Should go meet her eventually.
And
Continues writing.
As you do, you are distracted by a shadow flitting over the window. Now, such a thing is not to be particularly, nothing would be particularly amiss if you weren't on the 3rd floor. As we go down another level to the rest of the group, with Arden, Deandro, and Jarad. once again back in the room with Madame Striga, who herself who now stumbles back, her eyes once again clear. And she looks around you almost on edge, panicked.
Are you all right, madam?
There's something here. They found us. We must leave at once.
I'm afraid.
Who are they?
But I feel something inhuman.
Isn't this something you regularly deal with? Or
I'm gonna say, somebody make me any one of you a manipulation. Manipulation persuasion.
I feel like that's probably me. I'll do it.
Yeah, make the check. Make me that check.
Your character even be manipulative? I can't imagine why.
Oh, nice. So, plus one of your next an extra success done on your next roll. As she looks towards you, and this is unlike anything I've heard before, and unlike anything I've felt before. And as you look behind her, in the small barred window, two hands reach around the bars and begin to pull.
I'm not hallucinating, am I?
no, I see it as well. And I pull at Madame's trigger
Yeah,
I
well,
suggest
away
we
from
get
the.
out of here at once.
I'm going to need everyone to make me a dexterity athletics, please.
Oh no! Wait, dexterity? Oh, there we go.
As you hear from your office rising up, occasionally cries out within the walls of the asylum are not to be expected, but you hear in the silence of this moment a scream that's it carries an unnatural quality to it, almost like a
I botched.
would you like to use your stunt?
That was with the extra one die.
No, it's an extra success on your next. You don't have an extra die.
Oh yeah.
You sort of accrue successes as they go.
Okay, well then technically, I didn't get a botch, even if I don't use it, because that was the third dice that I rolled. That was the botch. It was the additional die.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you have that one success on there.
Okay.
As a scream at something you would in folklore, something like a banshee would be famed for making a noise like this. And as that scream goes out, other inmates began shouting, and in the corridor, as you fall back, as this figure sort of almost slides into the room, snake-like, you fall back, and inmates begin banging on the doors. You hear the cries going out. Two orderlies run in from one end to see what this sudden commotion is about. As you fall back into the corridor, Madame Strieger in tow, you see somebody stand up in the shadows of the cell.
I will actually say no, I don't, because I'm running. I'm not looking at that cell. I'm out.
And Arden, Arden and Deandro, I'm assuming you're both running as well.
Yes, but do
Okay.
I get a view of who might that be?
You only see in shadow this
Silhouette.
silhouette, very kind of statuesque. Looks to be a woman, and it's only in the half light you see just where the moonlight shines in through those windows with the bars now bent open. You see that she has a yellow cat-like slitted eye.
Okay.
And I just used the wrong dice for Madame Stringer. Oh, and as she begins to run with you, two orderlies step into the corridor, and she stumbles as she looks at them, and it's as they start banging on the doors. Just keep it down. As they look towards you, they see you there, inmates in tow. What's going on here? Adam, what are you doing at this moment?
I've probably like half stood up out of my chair, and I'm like, no, this is not how it's supposed to go. As I'd run out the room and down to figure out what is going on.
Clattering down the stairs, you're very aware of the inmates banging on the doors of their respective holding rooms. There's a commotion, and looking into the corridor, throwing open these very, very large oak double doors, you see a group of three strangers, two orderlies, and a woman in the plain cotton dress of one of the inmates.
Gotta go.
You, what's happening?
There's something that got into the cell. We need to go to safety immediately.
What do you mean something? Did one of the prisoners escape?
I don't
No.
know. I didn't stay to check out.
It was more
Good point. Let's keep moving.
something came in to the cell
To-
from outside. That's the problem here. I'm still, unless somebody physically imposes himself between me and the direction Jared's running, I'm still going.
One of the orderlies begins to move forward. You see him taking out a syringe, this big, kind of old 19th century metal thing. He takes two steps towards you as smoke coalesces around him, darts behind him as this figure once again reforms. Standing up, she's a good head and shoulders taller than him, and just grabs the orderly around the head and twists. There is a crunch as his head looks back towards you.
Arden turns to the doctor and says, "You have a back door, right? We don't have to live by that. We can go around. Tell me you have a back door in this place."
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Yes, you.
No,
her.
me. There may be a back door. How am I supposed to know?
You work here, don't you?
Is
Who
there a
even
door
are
I'd
you?
go on for a smoke break? That I know
Absolutely,
about?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This way. I'm sorry, I don't see necks get snapped that often. I'm a little discombobulated.
I'm actually inclined to agree here, as I obviously have to do like a sliding 180 to go the other direction.
As you all sort of, there's a little bit of kind of slipping on the highly polished tiled floor as you turn around. As looking back, you see the almost Baroque-styled woman once again dissipate into smoke. And everyone, once again, give me a dexterity. Let's do a dexterity athletics again.
I am so not a dice pool I'm happy with.
Remember, you've.
Oh.
I
Okay.
have 2 successes, right, from the first thing I rolled that I can
Yes.
apply here. Okay.
Yes.
Do I have to do that now, or can I do it after I roll?
I'd say as long as you can, as long as you keep getting the successes. Let's say you can kind of use them as momentum, but if you fail a roll without using them, then you can also create complications for other characters.
What?
So in this instance, with you giving chase and you've got your additional successes, there's always a threshold which is up to me to decide where it is for you to escape in this particular instance. She's also going to make a roll, but what you can do is you can add complications to her roll, which means that she requires a higher number of target successes. So if to catch one of you, she needs 2 successes. With your previous 2, you'd say I'd like to add 2 complications to her roll, in which case she needs 4 successes. So you can make her check a lot more
challenging. 1 success to my current 0, just in case.
Okay.
And then carry on.
Would you like to add a complication to her check?
I would love to add a complication to Scary Smoke Lady. That sounds like a great idea.
Okay, let's do this. And so as I'm going to ask for
I don't like that.
Jarad and Deandro.
Oh no.
I will say you can use. Otherwise, Brandon, would you like to use another success on this?
I mean,
would
I
you like
only
to
had
roll?
access to the 2, and I thought I used 1,
Oh,
and then complicated her by
right.
1.
Okay. Yes. So, could the 3 of you? Let's see. It's Arden who ducks underneath, and as the smoke and is that little bit quicker, little bit of ducking and weaving manages to put a gap between her as she reforms in front of you, kind of putting herself, moving past you, and then once again reforming, and you see the almost extended claw-like nails and the snake-like teeth that protrude from her mouth. What would you like to do?
Oof. Feels like something physical. I am not a physical character. Oh no.
I'm gonna try to talk the shadow lady down. I'm gonna say,
Oh!
look at me. This isn't you.
Okay. Do you want to know how many successes you need?
Yes.
On a make me a manipulation persuasion, you're going to need 7 successes.
Oh, can I do present?
If you want to do presents, yeah, it's still the same amount of successes.
Sure. This- Blue.
As she looks at you, the eyes, the slit eyes narrow, and she is going to jump and pins you to the ground, almost kind of on straddling you, and you feel those claws begin to rake across your down your neck as Madame Striga begins to stumble back towards the other orderly, who is just locked in where he is. Could you take 2 points of damage, please?
Yes. And as she rakes her nails down my neck, I scream out, "No, not my face, my beautiful face!"
Vote, please. Is that an appropriate use? Just do it.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, just do a private. You can just do a private message of a Y or an N to me, if you want to keep.
How do I add damage?
So right at the bottom of your
Bottom.
the bottom of the page, you've got the different stages of damage. Now everyone's got 10 hit points, and the more damage you take, you actually end up sort of having this last burst of energy. And with at the moment you're on just a flesh wound. So that top row, you just tick out 2 of the boxes there.
Okay, thank you.
And then once that fills, you get a bonus die to your archetype.
Lovely.
Everyone else.
I'm gonna do something very, 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 very stupid. With her diving on top of McAdams, I'm gonna attempt to kick her in the head.
Okay.
And I want to use my trope of tougher than I look.
Okay. We've got a trope.
For the duration of the scene, I gain +1 enhancement to all physical rolls.
Okay. So. I've got to remind myself. Tropes are.
Those are the special abilities directly tied to the archetype.
Yes. Yes, that's it. So
yeah, this is the third one that I took, so it's actually not from my archetype, but
I guess. Yeah. So tropes, they don't have they can be used as and when, can't they?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. But you don't lose them, I don't think.
Yeah. No, I don't believe I.
Some of them specify it's once per story or session,
Yes.
but it just depends.
Yeah. So could you maybe that check, and that will be a
Post combat might, I'm guessing.
it will be a might close combat. Yes.
Sounds. This is still not a great roll, but I have statistically, I have a chance for 1 success. And that's what I got. Statistically, I have 1 success in that roll.
Your foot connects with nothing as she once again dissipates. Blood trickles out from around McAdams' throat, and very, very close, the medical mind of Brandon. You see how close those claws were to just severing the jugular.
Come on, let's go. As I help McAdams up.
I don't think Brandon ever stopped running.
Okay, as the 3 of you now reconnecting with Arden, run towards the end of the corridor, and as down the hall, you see the other orderly being picked up bodily with one hand, and as you reach the doors and throw them open, it's the last of the life just is choked out of his body and it dropped. As she turns, her head snaps back towards you and begins almost in this gliding, flying, begins to head down towards you at impossible speed.
Are we rolling to run again?
I would say give me another run check. Here we go.
It's still the same scene?
It is still the same scene, but I am going to say that this point now, go. What did you?
For the duration of the scene, I gain the physical +1 to all physical rolls, and running is physical, so.
Oh yes, absolutely. I'm going to say that this one is going to be a challenge 2.
Oh no.
If anyone wants to use quips, you get +1 to your roll for your quip, Robyn. If anyone else wants to use trademarks or quips or tropes,
I've got nothing for this right now.
I love that for me.
oh,
Oh wait, I have a trademark.
Yeah.
as
Aren't we missing one roll?
I think
Yeah.
Robyn.
Yeah, we were waiting for Brandon's roll.
Brandon was looking at his quips and couldn't find any.
And Bodge.
It's a botch as you stumble and you feel claws rake through your lower back, and sending you down a flight of stairs, and that is another.
So as this happens, where is it? Mark of Evil. By making physical contact with a monster, you get visions about where it has been within the last 3 scenes. It's up to the director how much information you get in what order.
Okay. Unfortunately, it does take it combined with several heavy falls down a flight of stairs. You do take 2 damage yourself, and as you lie at the bottom of the sort of the midpoint where the stairs can turn back on themselves to go down another level to the first ground floor, you see in your, let's go with a well-appointed drawing room, front room of a 19th century house, as you would expect. A older man, with a very, very large, full walrus moustache, just sits in the corner idly, single light on the desk as he reads, looks up, and who's there? And the way you see it is almost through the eyes of this mystery visitor, as looking to the table nearby, you see various pieces of information, the invite to one of the gatherings of the Infernal Club, this one from the previous evening. You also see pages of notes documented, and there is a familiarity to them, that almost this extension of the self, recognizing the means and various diagrams of arcane circles and sigils. And a single in the almost placed on a small bust, bronze bust that's been set on the table as well, is an amulet that's reached out, picks it up, and as the man stands and says, I demand you show yourself, flies forward and stops behind him, and looking back, you see the blood begin to emerge around the man's neck before his head slides from his shoulders. And to the other previous events, probably not quite so significant as covered in the last session, obviously, Rogue yourself not being here, you are very aware that this figure then goes on to track or explicitly look for Madam Streaker. Seems to be hunting down the attendees of the last gathering of the Infernal Club.
Alrighty.
And
as Brandon is several flights of stairs down, just
it was like half a flight of stairs, but this figure at the top who stands looking over you. As you stumble back to your feet, feel you look and you see blood coalescing and beginning to soak through the clothes. As
I think only Arden actually made the number of successes needed.
Yeah, I'm going to give her a roll as she, rather than go down the stairs, just drops down the center. And let's do. Oh dear.
Break an
we love that.
I have a feeling it's going to be me because I attempted to kick her in the head. I feel like this is...
Yeah, that has not been forgotten. As she drops behind you, the ground cracks, the tiles just crack as she grabs you and lifts you up once again into the wall. The wall fractures behind you. Those of you that are now following, and Arden looking back, you see the wall and the flat just go. There's a very distinct wobble. As Jarad, that is going to be 4 damage, which does mean you get your +1, and you feel as the hand holding you up in that second clawed hand stabs into your chest.
I wish I was dead.
Can I get votes, please? That was a quip. So everyone vote. Is that an appropriate use? Just.
We get points, right?
Yeah, so whenever you use a quip, remember to discard that one and draw a new card. But yes, you got the nod of approval there, as hopefully stop rolling quite so brutally. Yeah, it's as she swipes around as Deandro attempts to sort of duck past in the moment, and it's just another scrape and a scratch. This one, unfortunately, does get your perfect face, ragged claws, but only 1 damage, and now you get your bonus die as well to your archetype.
At what cost?
Let's go to let's go to Arden, because you so far have managed to avoid.
I feel like they're half a block away at this point. Like, they're gone.
And as she looks back, as you see Madame Striga locked, the two of you sort of looking, just glancing back, as you're dropped from where she was holding you up, as she flies back up towards Madame Striga, and once again kind of recoalesces behind her, grabbing her either side of the head, moves in, and there's a moment where you lock eyes, as she just shakes her head, and once again. And with that, kind of spreads her hands and disperses. As the body Madame Striga crumples to the floor at the top of the stairs.
No. I scream.
I've read those reports for nothing.
You look down, the suit there's 5 distinct puncture wounds through your chest as blood pools outwards into the fabric.
Who?
That's Jarad.
My poor suit. That's more of an internal note, but
To accompany the internal damage.
That looks nasty.
I'm gonna pick myself up off the floor and... Damn it. Whatever that thing was got her. That's happening above us, correct?
Yeah, she as you look, it's like one of those half flights of stairs. She just the now prone form of Madame Striga lies in this crumpled heap.
Are we all with Arden now? Or some of us still inside the building?
I was going to say Arden wasn't so much really far ahead, but able to just duck and weave and avoid those points when she was reforming and swiping.
Yeah.
Hmm?
What
She's-
even was that?
I don't have an answer for that. Ow.
Well then, let's focus on what we do know.
I know that they're going after whoever attended the Infernal Club? I saw something when it swiped at me. Maybe just hallucination, but it's more than we'd know otherwise, so act on this knowledge while we have it.
Yes, can't write off anything. When Madame Striga was doing her thing earlier, she mentioned that two have fallen and 3 are left, right?
Yeah.
Well,
And
Did she include herself as one of the 3? Are there only 2 left, or...?
I would
oh,
that
Do we know how many people there is in this club thing?
no.
It was. Sorry, do you know how many people there were?
In the club?
There was 5.
Okay, so that was
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
if she was a guest, does that mean she's not included within the 5?
I wouldn't think so.
Or yeah.
So
Um,
There's
As-
potentially another murder that we don't know of.
So, as you stand up and sort of gather your thoughts, those of you that took damage have the option to now what's called shrug it off or take it. So, if you want to shrug it off, you roll stamina as a resistance, and that will allow you to reduce your damage pool. However, if you take it, you accept the damage, and you can. So it's the damage rating is ignored.
Oh. I'll go with shrugging it off.
Okay, so you roll stamina, and every success you get reduces your damage by 1.
How do you do that?
So I'd say just do a if you go to the just do a D10 roll from the pool on the left hand side. So just do a single D10 or however many stamina you have.
That'll be 2.
So, so what does ignoring the damage rating mean?
I'm not too sure about that. Damage rating. Damage ratings. Here we go. I was going to say this one. You've only got the option to. So the damage rating is additional damage that it does.
Okay.
So this one you would only reduce it by 1.
Okay, so I guess I'm not understanding what I'm doing here. Sorry.
It's up to you. If you can either take 1 or you can chance it to shrug it off, and you can chance it to get more.
I'll just take the 1 then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll also just take the 1.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'll get my +1.
Bonus die.
So remember, those of you that have the 3 damage track, anything that falls into your archetype now gets a bonus 1 die.
Yep. Because I
And-
absolutely needed to roll 10 die for any manipulations I do.
Of course you did. And as you stand there, and as the potential, the possibilities going forward, you look to one another, and voice calls out, seemingly from nowhere. And that's lunch. As the studio lights, the bell rings in the background, the studio lights come back up as Andrea kind of re-emerges, going. The sort of Renaissance woman with the snake-like teeth and cat eyes slaps the teeth out and goes, "Was everyone happy with that?"
Hell yes.
Yeah,
You were terrifying. Bravo.
Yeah.
This is sort
Come
of
on.
so touch your forearm and goes, "Oh, darling, thank you. You're always welcome. Keep them coming." Anyway, that was fun. We should do it again. As she kind of calls over an assistant who's there, lighting her cigarette and everything kind of prepared. And as as 2 guys come in with these very, very heavy metal buckets and mops and start beginning to work the blood on the floor, there's a costume designer comes over and examines all of you that are taking injuries and goes, might be able to say that. Might be. No, it's gone. With that, we're going to go to break. We'll see you back here in a bit.